This is Joseph here. He's from John the Hut Dweller channel. And I wanted to talk to you about a book. It's one of my favorite books. That's probably not what you'd expect. It's a very clever book. I don't know if it's intelligent, but it's a very clever book, which that's what it means to be. It's this one, Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey. Why do I like this book? And how can I like it? Well, first of all, it doesn't clash with orthodoxy. It only attacks Western religion, really. But it's kind of funny. Me even saying that is kind of is really a contradiction, because it says, and this is kind of the funny thing. It was I remember the page number. It was 101. It was the reason why I bought it. It's because I picked it up. I read this one page and I said, "Yep, that's the book for me." It says the Black Mass today would consist of blaspheming such sacred topics as Eastern mysticism, psychiatry, the psychedelic movement, ultra-liberalism, etc. Patriotism would be championed, drugs and their gurus would be defiled, acultural militants would be defied, and the decadence of ecclesiastical theologies might even be given a satanic boost. Well, as you know, the first thing he says, Eastern mysticism, encompasses orthodoxy. So, even in that, you might still be too cool for school on that one. But I wonder why we're more threatened by this book. When I say we, I mean the American public, or you say Christianity Protestants. No, I'm not Protestant. Why are they more scared of this book than they are the Quran? They don't want anybody to read it. You can't read that book. That book will influence and drag you to hell. But the other religious texts, oh yeah, we want to be multicultural. I mean, it's the biggest hypocrisy. Say, oh yeah, I have a friend that's a Hindu, a friend that's a Muslim, and I'm a Christian, but I won't have a friend that's a Satanist. Satanist, as Anton LaVey describes it, there are, I want to say objectivist atheists, but not quite, because they still have a tinge of mystery in it. But I just thought it was so weak, because I actually knew somebody that went their friends to a church, and they were Satanists, and they got the worst reception. They said, "Oh, I actually like church. I'll go there, whatever." They went. It was a group thing. They were going for about a month and a half, and people just thought they were, why are you coming here? It's like an FU to us. But if a Jew or a Muslim would want to go to they'd be thrilled. Oh, we're so multicultural. But a Satanist, which Satanists could get a lot out of going to church, just as a observational thing. It might help with their with them performing any of their rituals or their black mass or whatever. Yeah, it might be something to look at. But Protestant Christians, they know how to be afraid. I'll tell you that. The evangelicals, they really got being weak and scared down to an art form. But it's kind of funny that the evangelicals wind up being some of the most powerful people in the world, and yet in their own lives they're a very confused type of person. So this it should be read, but I don't, the Satanic Bible, and the reason why it should be read, just like with the Satanic verses, the Quran, the Life of Muhammad, these are books all people have told me not to read, and I'm sure you've been told not to read Satanic. Well, if you're not a Muslim, you wouldn't have been told not to read that. But things like the Satanic Bible, Communist Manifesto, dangerous Protocols of the Elders of Zion. I did a video on that. I started reading it. It's really just a bunch of mush. It's just Jew hating. There's really no artistry or flair or anything to that. It really strike me as something that could. It almost seemed like a fake propaganda, like something that somebody would make up that says, "Oh, the other side said this about us." I mean, I don't really see how anybody could really take that book seriously. So I don't know if it was a big fire starter that it's supposed to be, but it's just a really loud book. Satanic Bible. If the Satanic Bible can threaten your Christianity, I mean, if it can, how I don't know. I don't want to be the one to say, oh, well, no book could ever change the way you believe, because that's no. It should have an impact. But the idea that it would get destroyed by the Satanic, but yeah, there's ideas in there, but those are ideas that he only brings up carnal ideas, stuff that you actually deal with in your daily life. And it's not like a Satanist and a Christian would ever have a debate. Actually, it's kind of funny. As I was saying that, I just thought of when Nicholas Schreck and Zena LeBay went on the Bob Larson show. And it almost kind of was a debate in the Satanists one, obviously. Because he wasn't really defending, I mean, he was defending Americanism. He wasn't really defending Christianity. It's very strange how Protestants claim to defend Christianity, and yet they know so little about it. They don't know, well, you ask them, well, what about that period between 500 AD and 1000? What was Christianity like that? Oh, we don't go. Well, we just go by the Bible. As if you're starting your religion over and over again every generation. It's just, oh, it's a rebirth. We don't have to look at the past. It's a very strange thing, and I think that's why it's threatening, because they can't look at the past. If they do, they would have to correct things, or they'd have to admit things which they don't want to do or they can't do. But the Satanic Bible is a very interesting book. It's a fun read too. It's a blast reading it. Does it affect my spirituality at all? I don't think so. Does it damage it? No. I mean, if I had gone around never reading the Satanic Bible, I mean, what if every one of those people that wound up getting in an argument with a Satanist? Oh, well, I know, of course, it's kind of like the other, everybody else. Oh, well, I've read the whole Bible and I know. It's like, I don't know if you have. And anybody says that to me, I'm like, well, if you're a Christian, you obviously did. I would just assume that from somebody who's being a blatant Christian, but I don't know of anybody who would sit down and the Bible doesn't work like that. It's not that type of book. You would have to go through it many, many, many times, because it begins with the Torah, and then you have the history, obviously, and then the wisdom, and then the prophets, and then you start with the New Testament. So it's very strange. Bible being a book. Satanic Bible is structured nothing like the Bible. It's basically kind of essays all grouped together, and then at the end it gives a structure for the Black Mass and has the Enochian keys, which I think is very interesting. That in the Middle Ages, I think it was the Middle Ages. It might have been in the Enlightenment. I think it was in the Enlightenment, around 1700s. The Enochian keys were actually written, a manufactured language, but it would be cool to resurrect that language. I think that dead languages are cool. Like they did it with Hebrew. I mean, State of Israel, Hebrew really wasn't spoken. It was Yiddish that was spoken. Yiddish and English were the two main languages most Jewish people, or say world Jewry. Jewelry. I always wanted to say jeweler whenever I try to say that. And they brought that back. I think it would be cool to see Latin brought back, even though, again, I'm not Catholic. I don't subscribe to the West in any form of religion, but that'd be just kind of a fun thing to learn, Enochian. It's just be able to speak some random language. It's kind of like Esperanto. It's useless. But yeah, I mean, I would tell anybody if they want to read this book. Obviously, you wouldn't want to give it to somebody who's depressed or who's mentally challenged or who's in crisis, because they might take it the wrong way. And Anton LaVey in there says, yeah, sacrificing animals and children strictly forbidden. And I'd have to take him at his word for that. I don't know, people, oh, he did this and that. I don't know if Anton LaVey ever committed a crime. But I know a lot of things try to get attached to Satanism. And for the same reason that I don't I don't hold them accountable, or people who claim to be Satanists who like saw the head off of a cat or something like that, cut their left ear off, and all that weird shit. I don't uh, want to attribute that to the Satanic Bible, just as I wouldn't say, oh, the what's that guy's name, Joseph Cohen, or the guy that leads the that revolutionary army that goes by the Ten Commandments, the restoration of the Ten Commandments. Oh, Joseph Kony. I wouldn't call him a true Christian. I wouldn't say he was following the Bible. So I'm not going to slander the Satanists and say, oh, they do all these, they kill babies and satanic ritual abuse. I think that's ridiculous. I think that's finger pointing. And again, I think people are the problem. I don't think it's the religion. I think religion can be used kind of like a mirror, or maybe even a muddy water, where you look into it. And it's kind of like a Rorschach test. You get out of it you know what you put in. You get out of it what you take what you want, kind of thing. And when religion becomes that, then yeah, you can justify anything. Are you being disciplined by anything? No. It's your raw emotions. You're taking stuff from a book, and then you're going out and murdering people. You're not applying any disciplines to your life. You're not bettering yourself, which is the intent. You're just being an asshole. You're making an asshole out of yourself. And you can do that with this book, and you can do it with the Bible. You can do it with the Quran. You can do it with anything. Now, again, the Quran's a little different on this because it actually just commands war. But again, I even when I make videos, I still separate Muslims from Islam and Muslims from the text of the Quran. So the Satanic Bible, yeah, if you've read the Bible and you're a firm Christian or whatever, definitely read it. If you're depressed, and it might even help you if you're depressed, but I don't want to suggest this to somebody and then be like, and not even reading it and be like, I'm a Satanist, and go around and be pulling himself with butterflies or anything, something as asinine as that. But I thought it was a good book, and I don't think books should never be feared. The thing that should be feared is when people fear books, like when everybody got upset over a burning of the Quran. When people who fear books, or when people just fear books, that's when the trouble is. It's not reading them. I don't know. Peace. Decadence of ecclesiastical theologies might even be given a satanic boost. Well, as you know, the first thing he says, Eastern mysticism, encompasses orthodoxy. So, as today would consist of blaspheming such sacred topics as Eastern mysticism, psychiatry, the psychedelic movement, ultraliberalism, etc. Patriotism would be championed, drugs and their gurus would be defiled, acultural militants would be defied, and then funny. Me even saying that is kind of is really a contradiction, because it says, and this is kind of the funny thing. It was I remember the page number. It was 101. It was the reason why I bought it. It's because I picked it up. I read this one page and I said, "Yep, that's the book for me." It says the black man. I don't know if it's intelligent, but it's a very clever book, which that's what it means to be. It's this one, Satanic Bible by Anton LaVey. Why do I like this book? And how can I like it? Well, first of all, it doesn't clash with orthodoxy. It only attacks Western religion, really. But it's kind of fun. This is Joseph here. He's from John the Hut Dweller channel. And I wanted to talk to you about a book. It's one of my favorite books. That's probably not what you'd expect. It's a very clever book.